don't know me. So we went to the same middle school, right? And so growing up, sixth, seventh grade, in Louisiana, you have to try out for sports. In a lot of other states, you don't really have that. Everyone just kind of makes the team. And so all of my friends did sports. I wanted to do sports. I was super excited about, being able to do that once I got to middle school. Unfortunately, I tried out for every sport in sixth grade, didn't make any teams. Tried out for every sport in seventh grade, didn't make any teams. I tried out for every sport in eighth grade, and I actually didn't make the team. Um, it wasn't until about midway through the eighth grade season that they came and got me out of a regular PE class and asked me to start playing basketball. And I played for about half of that season before going to Hamilton Christian. The reason why I went to Hamilton Christian because it was the smallest school in the city, and I felt like that was the only opportunity I was going to have to play sports. The graduation class that was there when I went visit the school was about 28 people. That's how small the school was. So I ended up going to Hamilton because I felt like that was my only opportunity to play sports. So I went there and I played basketball, and basketball is my first love. I really enjoyed the sport. I really wanted to do well in the sport. Unfortunately, I just wasn't good enough in order to get to where I wanted to get. Now, one of the coaches at the school came and approached me in a PE class and was like, "Hey, man, you should do track." And I was like, "Nah, I don't think I'm good on that." I tried out for track in high school, in middle school. I didn't make the team, so I'm not that much faster now. I was like, "Oh, you should do it. You should do it." So he came to me like every day for like probably like 3, 4, I don't know how long, but he was just consistently, "Hey, you should do track. You can be great. Hey, you should do track. You can be great." And I'm like, "What does this man keep talking about doing track for? Like, what does he see in me to do track?" And so, um, eventually, one of my friends convinced me to join the track team, not to run track, but to do the jumps because I was a basketball player, and I thought, okay, this will help me with my vertical. Um, the only reason I actually decided to do it was because of the free food that you get at track meets. It's co-ed, so that meant there was going to be girls there, and nobody watches the field event. So if I'm done before the whole meet even start, nobody even sees me not do well. So I
Hey
didn't
man,
really care that much about track.
I gotta stop you midway. This man said, "Girls, free food,
And you
and
get out of school early.
yeah." But in our where we from, that's literally what you chasing. I gotta give you for Team Jordans. You pulling up to practice and teach. Go, but
Oh yeah.
keep going.
I
So
had never seen tracks. I had never seen track spikes before in my life. I was like, man, let me just go get some cheap shoes. I'm gonna just jump in these. I had some Jordans, some Team Jordans, and I was probably like a 5'2" high jumper, which is terrible. It was like opening height for like girls. So like I would just run up and hit the bar 3 times. I jump. If I didn't do well, I know I'm not gonna hit the last one. I act like I ain't care. I just hit the bar, go sit down, go talk to girls. So that's what I did for the beginning of the track season. And then eventually Justin Griffin, who you mentioned earlier, got injured at a track meet, and they were like, "Hey Blair, we need you to run. You're an alternate." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So it's like, "Hey, you're gonna run the 4x4." And I'm like, "Okay." So I went back to the group. The group meaning the team area. I'm like, "Hey, I'm about to run a 4x4." And I'm like, "Oh, good luck with that." And
down.
I'm like, okay. So then so I called my brother. I'm like, "Hey man, they got me running. I'm not doing a field event today. I'm running a 4x4." He was like, "4x4? Oh man, good luck." I said, "Why everybody saying it like that?" So I go to my coach. I say, "Coach, what's a 4x4?" He say, "You gonna run one lap?" And I'm like, "Just one?" And he was like, "Yeah." And he was like, I was like, "Oh, okay." And so he was like, "Well, you just do the best you can." I'm like, "It's just one lap," not knowing
Yeah.
a 400. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah.
um, long story short, they ended up we get. I got the stick. I was the second runner out of four, which means I'm responsible for cutting into lane one. You get a sticker with a four on it. Everybody gets a different number sticker for the lane. Once you run around the curve, you break into lane one. Nobody told me that. So I ran the whole lap in lane four, and we the whole time the coach is yelling break, break, break for us to cut into lane one, and I don't know track terms. I'm only a jumper,
So you took
so
a
break to
break.
me means slow down. So I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm yelling at him while I'm running. Why? Why you want me to slow down while I'm running? Everybody else is in lane one, and I'm looking like they all getting DQ'd. Like there's his stickers say 5, his say 6. They all in lane one. I'm in lane 4. I'm staying in lane 4. Long story short, we get on the back stretch. I slow down a little bit because coach keep telling me to break. The guy passed me up. He said, "How you feel?" I'm like, "Why you kept telling me to slow down?" He's like, "I didn't tell you to slow down. I told you to break in." It's like, I don't know what that means. He's like, "How you feel?" I'm like, "I'm good. You told me to slow down." It's like, "Yo, you not tired?" It's like, it was just one lap. Mentally, it wasn't as big of a barrier or a challenge because I didn't know it to be a challenge. I was looking at it as one. I wasn't looking at it as 400 meters, right? It's the same thing that happens with like the 4-minute mile. No one thought it was possible to break a 4-minute mile until somebody did. And then now everybody knew how everybody starts breaking the 4-minute mile. It's like the 2-hour marathon. Until it happens, nobody thinks it can happen. But once it happens, you've broken that barrier mentally and you're able to do so. So long story short, with that aspect of track and field, that's how I was introduced to the sport. And then as it continued to progress, I just kept looking at it like, this is one lap, this is 2 laps, this is 4 laps. And if we're gonna go longer, we're going slower, I can do that. And so through working with that coach, I ended up, really starting to develop as an athlete. And I ended up giving up basketball because he told me that I'd be able to get a scholarship in track. And nobody had told me that for basketball. So I was like, hold on, I can get a scholarship? Like, oh no, let me see what's going on. So my high school career, I ended up, I believe 4 or 5 times state champion in Louisiana.
Man, Michael Jordan of the town type, everybody.
It took off. It took off. But I was like zoned in though. Like, you gotta understand, like, I'm like, the summer I'm running, I'm lifting, I'm doing all this other stuff. Like, it was no more. I was like on a college regimen and like the 10th grade, like, because I really wanted to get that scholarship. And everybody around me who was already playing sports, I felt like they had a head start. Because again, this is 10th grade. 10th grade was the first year that I was going into the year with the intentions of running track. And I fractured my leg that year.
Dang, that's crazy.
I fractured my leg that year, my 10th grade year, and I missed the outdoor season. So my junior and senior year are the only full years of track that I had.
Damn.
So that's kind of how but even still, even through fracturing my leg, even through having a heart condition that happened on my junior year, and then having to have surgery over my chest right 4 months before the state meet.
Damn.
And then recovering from that and going through the mental ups and downs of that, being told I was never going to be able to do sports again.